So I wanted to make videos back in 2010, 2011, 2012, something like that. Right around the time when I wanted to move over to Portland. And by not making YouTube videos, that was like the biggest mistake ever, like you wouldn't believe. So what I really wanted to do was practically document my whole trip from 916 to 503, so from Sacramento to Portland, Oregon. And at the time, I was actually nervous about documenting my whole trip because, well, number one, at the time when I actually took the trip to, or like a 500-mile trip to Portland, my license was actually suspended at the time, but I was a really great driver, and I drove at night as well. So, and sometime in the morning, and you don't have like as many police out on the freeway. But that's beside the point. So my goal was to be well known amongst the multimedia community, or like the film community. So not only am I just a DJ as well as a composer, not producer, but composer, I really want to do more for myself. So I wanted to be a specialist in multimedia, in addition to just being a tech dude. At that time, really had interest to it. Have it as a side gig, just be a DJ, be a composer, be a actor, be somebody that knows how to edit videos, kind of like the jack of all trades in the multimedia business. That was like one of the biggest mistakes, or should I say regrets, that I have as far as starting like a channel at the time, and basically talking about or documenting, my way over here. And obviously they didn't have the Osmo and the Osmo Pockets during that time, but I did have a smartphone and I did have a camera set up at the time. But like I said in one of my previous videos, I was nervous on putting this stuff together, and I need to push this over. Putting this stuff together, and this one didn't do it right. Pushes up, there we go. So I wanted to put this stuff together. Or I'm sorry, I was just like really nervous on how to actually start the videos. Like I said before, I didn't have the idea. I had the drive and I had the motive. I just didn't know how to actually start. Now, had I started making YouTube videos and vlogs back from like 7-8 years ago, I probably would be as big as, I guess, PewDiePie and Unbox Therapy and Your Average and Super and all these other guys. But it would be like in the audio division. So, but like I said, I didn't know how to start it. I just was completely lost, I guess. So why I decided to start it now, that was when I actually had the idea when I was in Louisiana at the time. Some of you that were friends with me at the time, I made a first video, then I turned around and deleted it, and I was actually using somebody else's laptop. But now it's, I started getting a little bit more comfortable at, talking with the camera. Well, should I say, actually it's Jack, so just the camera. So I don't want to, copyright, or I don't want to copy infringe on Unbox Therapy, because they also calls it Jack. You're basically Jack. You're basically somebody I'm talking to as far as my audience goes. So you're Jack. You're just the camera, and the audience behind that camera, and whoever is seeing this video. So eventually, I started getting comfortable in front of the camera and started talking a little bit more. And I just wish I started sooner. I wish I had started this whole series a hell of a lot sooner. It was 7 years behind, but surely I can catch up, and surely I can get my face out there. But it's been a long journey. But so far, I've made about a good 60 to 70 videos, and this of which does not include the short films or all the music that I've done. But my passion is with just everything multimedia, which is acting, producing, composing, making music, hitting the top ends. Back when I actually started doing the top ends, I had this guy named DJ Nardex. He was the one that actually got me into purchasing a deck of belt drives, and I really learned on that. Then I started purchasing my own things like direct drives and CD players and things like that. So he was the one that really taught me. But the way of how Sacramento really has treated my life, it really just made me feel like kind of like a visitor. And because I've received a lot of death threats at the time because I somehow accused somebody of stealing my wallet, and it just escalated from there. It didn't make any sense to me. Whatever. I just needed to change my personality to the point to where nobody could really recognize me. So it was really hard for me to really just connect with the house music community at the time, because I had to change it so much, because I was doing that to really avoid those that really had some sort of threat against me, even though I didn't do anything to them. It's like, oh yeah, I had notes on my door, like my apartment doors. So I had to change my hair, I had to change my address, I had to change my looks, my routes, my Facebook, my MySpace, all that stuff. I had to change everything. So I masked my Facebook page, my MySpace page. I did all that. So what is this, 2 o'clock in the morning right now? 2:17 in the morning I'm filming this when I really should be passed out in the sack. So my main vision was to be, or should I say is to be, a multimedia specialist. In front of the camera, behind the camera, composing the music, all that stuff. My dad was a radio DJ. My mom's dad was a saxophonist, so he really knew how to bring the females in, or should I say the ladies in, with that dramatic saxophone sounds, I guess. I don't know. I have a full line of family musicians and entertainers, so it runs in the family with me. As far as the video portion of it, I'm the first ever one in my family to actually started to video log, or just basically vlogging, or becoming a YouTuber. So I'm the first one as far as I know, and I'm also the first one to actually become skilled at using Premiere Pro. So I plan on putting more content both on the audio side as well as I don't want to say trial videos, but getting out to visit places like Times Square, GCT, or Grand Central Terminal. I already visited Battery Park and a couple of places. Some of you have seen them, some of you haven't. I still plan on visiting the observatory. There's a bunch of things that I have to do to really just get off the ground. It's a whole bunch of mechanisms. So, but it's been a long road for me to get to this point, to where I really have to get comfortable speaking to you guys and actually stop saying half the time. Trying to curb all the editing and just give you just my raw talking points, I guess. But sometimes when you're traveling, obviously you do have to edit, so it gets shorted down to just one segment, so you don't just get bored at just me being a talking head and whatnot. So what I'm saying is that I wish I would have started sooner. I wish I would have known what YouTube was about back in 2007, 2008, 2009. I wish I would have just started by then. I did have smartphones, but I didn't have the greatest cameras, but it didn't necessarily matter. If I would have started at that time, I probably would be, like I said, much more well known. So for those who have known me a while, anywhere between 2 and 12 years, you guys know the struggles I've been through. I've been homeless, and I also had a lot of money, and I've learned from those experiences. And it took me years to really figure out where my life was actually going to go, especially since I've lost interest into being a go-to person, or should I say professional, as far as everything computers, from removing a virus to installing mainframes and things like that, which I want for it to be my day job, so media stuff at night. But since I lost interest in that, and I just wanted to go full focus into just multimedia work, that's pretty much where I got to at this point. I do have my own business. It's registered with the IRS. Definitely take a look at the website. It's all there. I always link it in the intro, as well as on the social media pages, which is Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. You can always find my content there. I also handed out business cards. Matter of fact, I need to go grab them and actually show them. So these are my business cards. If I hand these out, it's me. You can see the back side. Turn around. That's my information. Also on the silver version too. You can definitely see the difference between the two. I don't know if you can or not, but I've been so busy doing stuff, just back and forth, ever since I got my first place after 3 years of I don't want to say be sleeping on the street, but you know, in a place where I was actually safe. I actually got a place for after that I've been staying in for about a year and a month. The fact of it is that I've busted my ass to get back to this point. It has taken me 3 years and close to $30,000 to get back on my feet. And now that I have the equipment and I have the content, I just have to get the following now. I have to get the like promotions going and things like that. So I did announce that I was going to start ramping things up at least about a month or 2 months ago. But I am about a week into it. I wound up losing the funding because people want to be retarded for no reason at all. But that's going to eventually change again. But that is pretty much the reason why I started doing YouTube videos now. As I said before, I've gotten rid of Social Takeout and Average Audiophile. I'm not doing those 2 channels anymore. It's just pretty much Headlock and my music channel. I still have this Deep Spirit channel. I have to work on that just a little bit more. There are other 2 channels I'm working on, but it's just those 3 channels. But it's just a lot of moving parts, and it's just been kind of busy, just like one thing after another. Once one task completes, you got like 2 more that you got to complete. So right now, the maintenance fees are just kind of high, and like the income is kind of sparse. But I hope to solve that. Hopefully, at one point I was making about $1,000 a week, and then those employers were being ridiculous. So I don't want to say I'm back at square one, but things are just are slow moving. But I got the gear I needed, and all I have to do now is just promote and produce much better content. I do plan on doing some more short films in addition to making more or composing more house music sessions, as well as producing or composing more music. That's where it stands at this point in time. More stuff is coming out, more content. I don't plan on actually doing daily vlogs. I don't see a immediate need for that unless like there's a following that just randomly pops up out of nowhere. But I know for sure if I just pop them in any random one city and there's like a bunch of people out there that have seen my videos, they're obviously going to be like a small fan club, which may eventually turn into a large fan club. It almost always happens with me. Every time I show up somewhere, there's always a fan club. Every single time. I don't know, like people want to just like show up to my house and like no, don't do it. So I had a lot of people to kind of like skeptical of me at first. I understand that, like the way I carry myself as far as my attitude and behavior towards things. But when they hear me like talk and come up with these bright ideas and things like that, and now everybody wants to hang out with wants to hang out with your boy and whatnot. So can I come to your house and let me have a beer? And very rarely do I let people over to my place because I have a lot of expensive gear from laptops and cameras, phones and stands and things like that. I barely let anybody over to my place. And I usually wear a lot of gray because it's good to be well known, but I also have things to do. So I just kind of like move in and out of places, like from neighborhood to neighborhood, until I get things done, and I just make more YouTube channels. Or not YouTube channels, but more videos. As far as recent events goes, I don't want to be like petty, but some things have happened to where it's like, all right, I'm kind of upset, and it's time to be petty, and it's time to tell my audience what's going on. So there are a few more videos coming on, and some of you have saw the ticket that I've posted on social media. I kind of like let the ticket go, but I also didn't pay for it at the same time. The reason of it is that because it's a couple of the tickets that I got at the 2 train in Brooklyn at Flatbush, the ID numbers was off, and because the ID number is off, they basically can't prove it because everything has to be exact, and obviously it wasn't. So obviously I let that go. But I was going to make it a video about that and put that up. I was going to be really, really, really petty. But anyway, I want to do more stuff for you guys. That's why I'm here. That's why I exist. I want to get my face out there. I want to know who I am and basically what I do. And so far, there's I've like for at least about a good year and a half, I was like the only person posting vlogs all day long, just posting vlogs. Recently, I started seeing a couple of folks do it. They haven't been consistent, and I guess they don't know how to really edit video. So like I said, I'm like the only person that's doing it so far. So that of which case, I encourage you guys to come up with your own YouTube channel and just start posting just daily vlogs or weekly vlogs. And then if you can get your hands on, you know, Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro or DaVinci Resolve or something to that nature, or iMovie or something, or some Apple something, whatever. I encourage you guys to start vlogs. It could be on YouTube, it could be on Facebook, it could be on Twitter, it could be on Instagram, it could be on Tumblr, it could be on Reddit. It doesn't necessarily matter. Just start your vlogs, and you know, so you can, you know, better engage your audience, so they can, you know, understand where your head is at. You know, I definitely encourage that. I definitely encourage, especially you DJs out there and composers out there, definitely start vlogs. You know, just, you know, show them just a little bit of tidbits or highlights of, you know, what goes on in your life as a DJ as well as a composer. I definitely encourage that. I definitely encourage that. But like I said, so far I'm pretty much the only one out of 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people that that know me that does vlogs like 2 or 3 times a week. Initially, I was gonna do like web blogs, like webloggings, like kind of like articles. But I felt that to be kind of like counterproductive. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna start videos instead and see how far that goes. So that's pretty much why I started just YouTubing. So I am a official YouTuber. Like I said before, I have 3 brand channels, and I do have my own company, which is registered with the IRS, and I am working on updated merch. The previous merch, which was with Sector H, I don't want to say I got rid of that, but I kind of transformed it a little bit to where it's more towards Headlock and Village Lines, which is my composer name. So I am savvy as far as like the merchandise and the technical side of things, but it's just kind of hard for me to kind of promote because I've been kind of out of commission for so long. But eventually things take time, and I just want to, you know, gain the support of, you know, you guys, so I can, you know, get this off the ground and, you know, see how far it goes. I really want to see how far this goes. You know, if I make it to the top and I get to like places like Ultra and like the, you know, the YouTube awards or whatever, if I get that diamond play button, that's a major milestone, which is like 10 million subs. So that's where it stands. But I've learned a lot over 10 years. Like literally, I've learned a lot. Like I've learned more recently than I've ever learned when I was 18, 19, 20. There are a lot of scammers out there. There really are. And you know, you really have to watch out for them. And it's completely ridiculous on how this world has changed over the last 10 years. Especially now when, you know, T-Rump is in office and Little Orange Cheeto. That's a story for another time. I appreciate you guys in supporting me, and definitely will see you guys in the next video.